Women marry men hoping that they'll change. Men marry women hoping that they won't change. Now, we know that I love a sweeping generalization, but this came up on my show yesterday, and I actually think it's very true. And it's funny because I had a caller who was a little bit older call me after and say, the man doesn't change. She had gone through a nasty divorce, raised her kids by herself because she had married a guy thinking he was going to change, and they don't. So I'm wondering if you guys agree with that generalization.
Men change, women change, some men don't, women don't. It's a human thing. And it's very hard to generalize in that sense that, oh, all women change. No, I think men are a lot more steady, but in terms of the change that they're talking about, I think it's a human thing.
Absolutely. Because deep down in our soul, who we are very rarely changes. You know, those narcissists of the world, yeah, good luck getting any of them trying to change, female or male. Good luck to you, you know. Those of us who are naturally generous and who are securely attached, I know these are two different concepts here, a separate concept, but they won't change either, you know, because it's how they were raised and what was done to them in their first couple of years. And sure, we might be able to mold our behavior to be more socially acceptable, but the core of who we are very rarely changes. Now, there is a case to be made, I feel like, to say that women are more sensitive. They're less run by their own direction that masculine men are in general, because masculine energy, if you have a depth of masculine energy, is you focus on your direction and you eliminate other things. So that means that as masculine men, these males will eliminate distractions and value their direction. Now, this may look to women like men won't change or whatnot. However, you know, without that direction, they would not be the men of the world. They wouldn't be men. For women, because we need to build relationships to feel safe and to gather resources, we're more likely to have that level of sensitivity to not hurt someone or adjust accordingly to get what we need.
Well, from my experience, looking at all the women in my life that I've known, I can't say any of them have really truly changed.
Yeah.
You know, we stay true to our core, and rather than seeing change, I guess our characters are revealed over time.
Exactly. And the more vulnerability that is forced within us, the more our characters are revealed. Let's look at the comment. This comment, men do not change. They get worse with age. 170 love hearts on that one. What kind of war are we fighting here?
Men versus women.
Obviously. It's just, why are you entering a war that doesn't serve you or anyone else? What is the point of this? Do you need to pass the time? Maybe you've experienced some very toxic men, and it's easy to, when you've been abused, to see all men as that. You naturally fear men, or you naturally assume that they all have bad intent, but that's just not the case. Ask someone who's only dealt with great men, see how different their perspective is. So it's all about perspective.
And value. I think women want men to bring more value to the table, so that they hope that they will change.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
The only reason you hope for someone to change is so that they can bring more value to you.
Yeah.
Maybe like more understanding of feminine women, perhaps.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whereas men don't explicitly want women to understand them as much.
Yeah, that's true.